like I said, all of this will be available here. I want to wrap up. I'm going to take some questions here. So the challenges are there. Most of this is we've got to learn about this world that's happening very quickly, and if we don't do anything, stuff's going to happen, and we'll probably get cut out of it in the process. Other companies, other networks, other people in the network will end up building the relationships we would be building. This is a new way to create products and services that are sustainable and successfully transitioning to a rapidly evolving new marketplace. This is happening very quickly, and people are not aware enough of what's happening out there, particularly in their industry. And it's how you get, it's the new sustainable competitive advantage. And okay, it's not just about building a bunch of social relationships, it's about that data. So the information that you can get on the network that you can't get anywhere else, and that you can then roll right back into your product. And this resilience to future change and ongoing market evolution, because you plug into that change and plug into that market evolution. So let's go ahead right to the questions.
Thank you. My question is this: is there any examples, like the Harley-Davidson story that you told us, are any examples of a company that size that's gone to a company like a local business here, Bazaar Voice, that does just this for other companies, that's then been able to get back the traffic that they already lost?
So, yeah, and right, that's exactly the right question. We see companies like Fixia is another one that said, hey, if I build a community around consumer electronic products and support for them. Most consumer electronics companies are terrible. You go to their website, try and get help, forget it. What they did is they build a community around consumer electronics, and what they do is they actually let brands buy access to that, and we'll actually plug that community into other sites, like Circuit City, Best Buy, and so on. So there are emerging business models where people say, well, the money is going to be when I can help these large companies recover what they didn't realize that they had lost. I can build the community, whatever it is, elsewhere, and then I can plug that and provide access to that later on downstream. And now, we're not seeing that as being 100% repeatable. That's going to be very exciting new areas. There are some stories. Fixie is the best example of it. Yes?
Excellent presentation. Thank you. Do you have any examples of creating these communities in the B2B space, where companies are in B2B space and they've created some kind of a customer community?
So we see great interest this year in B2B. In fact, we're getting contacted more about B2B communities around this. They're all vertical, right? So they might all be medical supplies, or they might all be agri supplying restaurants. And all the different B2B relationships are required to keep a restaurant going. And building community, long-term community relationships, performing customer service, and all of that. We're just starting to see that. But the other story is that open supply chain. That's happening. That's another version of that same story, but with less of a social aspect. So there are two very important layers happening there, and they're both very hot right now.
I think we have time for one more.
We've seen a lot of these Fortune 500 companies adapt this technology or social media into their business plans to grow their businesses, but we're not seeing a lot of small business owners who are adapting this technology. What do you think it's going to take to get small business owners kind of open up and accept this technology as a new source of business in their business model?
So that's an excellent question. If you saw my stats here, we're seeing that, right, small businesses are behind. The smaller you are, the more behind you are. And because there is a minimum investment. A lot of companies say, well, gee, this stuff is so inexpensive, I might as well experiment with it. But that bill, I may be very tiny for a large company, is large for a small company. So what we're seeing is that's one of the key business models to enable it for small companies, the self-service concept. Most small businesses don't have the resources to study all these best practices and create a team that can go out and do the right thing and do all the analysis needed. Whereas if there were self-service type of facilities out there on the network where you can sign your business up and you get access to most of the best practices, you might be able to do a little customization, then you might do very well. We are starting to see some of those services emerge for small businesses. And certainly, we're seeing it with software as a service. We're seeing a lot of companies. You're going to hear from Jive Software, for example, right after me, providing just such facilities for companies that want to do things like that. So you'll hear more about that today. But it's an active problem. It's not